After missing last week's game with his second concussion of the season, quarterback Steve Young returns today for the 49ers. With the NFC's #1 rushing defense, the Niners seek to continue to make a statement in the NFL. In Washington, the Redskins now stand at the forefront in the NFC East. After last week's strong showing in Philadelphia, the first-place Redskins look to continue to maintain their position among the NFC's elite as the postseason approaches. No place like RFK Stadium in Washington as the San Francisco 49ers, in first in the NFC West, come to Washington to play the Redskins in first place in the NFC East. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. And John, let's talk about those Redskins. A lot of people don't believe that they're for real.
Well, you know, I mean, I think after last week and after they beat the Philadelphia Eagles, you have to say that they're for real because they can do some things extremely well. I mean, in Terry Allen, I think they have one of the best running backs in all of football. Talking to Norv Turner yesterday, he says if we're going to beat the 49ers today, he said we have to be able to control the ball, keep our defense off the field, work those outside receivers. Now, one thing happened that is interesting in the pregame warm-up. I thought that the Redskins had a little advantage in their special teams, but they lost their punter. Matt Turk got injured in the pregame warm-up and won't punt today.
So the regular kicker, Scott Blanton, will handle the punting duties. It looks, at least, that'll be the case. John, what about the 49ers? Steve Young's back?
Yeah, and I think that's a big story. I mean, the 49ers are playing well on defense, and, you know, this is all about Steve Young. I mean, Steve Young is going to start today, but how's he going to react? I mean, how's he going to play? How's he going to throw the ball? How's he going to react the first time he has to run? How's he going to react the first time he takes a hit? And I think that's what everyone is interested in right now in this 49er team, because if Steve Young is healthy and can play, they got Brent Jones back now, they got William Floyd back, they got one of the greatest players in all of football in Jerry Rice. They have that offense, they just haven't exploded yet.
So we'll be waiting to see. Coming up, it's the San Francisco 49ers and the Washington Redskins from RFK Stadium. And John and I'll be back for the opening kickoff when Fox NFL Sunday continues after these messages from your local station.
Fox, home of Super Bowl 31.
RFK Stadium in Washington, the temperature 52 degrees. Southwest wind 6 miles an hour, mostly cloudy to forecast. And this place will be rocking before the day is over. In fact, it'll start very shortly. Blanton and the Redskins will kick off. And back deep is Dexter Carter for San Francisco. Bounces out of bounds. And so the 49ers will start all the way up at the 40-yard line. More, perhaps, than they could ever hope for if they'd had to return it. Here's Steve Young. He'll start at quarterback. He's 5-2 as a starter. And in front of him, Steve Wallace, Ray Brown, the ex-Redskins, Sapolo, Dahlman, and Harris Barton. Kirby and Floyd, the two running backs. Owens and Rice wide, and Brent Jones back and playing well at tight end. 1st and 10 from the 40. Steve Young puts Brent Jones in motion and fakes and drops it up to Brent Jones for a pickup of 9. Let's have a look at the Redskins defense. They rose to the challenge last week against the Eagles. Owens, Gilbert, Boutte, and Nottage start up front. Patton, Stevens, and Ken Harvey. And the secondary, Darrell Green, who, as John Madden said, will be shadowing Jerry Rice all day long. 2nd and short. Young back to Floyd. I don't believe he got the first down. Just short of it. Stopped by Rich Owens, who had his best game of the year.
You know, it's interesting. It's interesting, Pat, that the first play of the game, you know, Steve Young back, you know, had the 2 concussions in 3 weeks, didn't even suit up last week. The first play of the game, they call a naked bootleg, and he comes out on a naked bootleg and throws the ball to Brent Jones. I think they wanted to do 2 things. One, show that he would bootleg, that he will run with the ball, and that they're not afraid to do it on the first play.
3rd and short. Young quarterback sneak. He didn't get much.
Well, I think on 2 of the 3 plays, they're not worried about Steve Young's concussion. The first play, again, he bootlegged, got outside the containment. Then the first short yardage play they get is a quarterback sneak. And you know the thing about a quarterback sneak, the quarterback has to lead with his head.
Well, he was very emphatic yesterday about "I feel fine." That was Steve Young speaking.
Watch him lead with his head. See, if you were going to run a quarterback sneak, the first thing you have to stick in there is your head.
1st and 10 at midfield, and Young will throw it. Gets it out to Floyd, who lost the ball. I think he got it back. Red Cashin, by the way, is the referee. You know that familiar voice.
Looked like Marcus Patton was right there making the tackle and knocks that ball out of there. Watch him, number 53. It was Patton, and then he was down there and just couldn't get it. William Floyd stayed with it.
2nd and 12. They lost a couple. A little sunshine starts to break through.
Yeah, this is good hitting weather. This is good football for a big game. Good weather for a big game.
Young pitch back to Floyd. Or is that Kirby? Terry Kirby took the pitch from Steve Young and cut it upfield for about 5.
I think Terry Kirby's fitting in well with this 49er offense now, because to be a running back in this offense, you have to be a good receiver, and that's what Terry Kirby is. I mean, he kind of took over for Derek Lavelle. In fact, Derek Lavelle isn't even active today, and Terry Kirby is now the starting halfback on this team, and each game he looks like he feels more comfortable.
3rd and 5. Darrell Green with Jerry Rice split left, and here is Steve Young to Owens, the rookie, inside the Redskin 30 to about the 32-yard line. Carter made the stop.
And Tom Carter fell down on that one. You're going to see Terrell Owens. He's out there. Tom Carter is out there on him. And you see right there, see, Carter's going to be running. He falls down. As he goes to twist there, he falls down, and that's why Owens is wide open.
They gain 17 on the other side of the field.
Well, we know that Darrell Green, one of the great all-time corners, is going against Jerry Rice, one of the great all-time wide receivers. They're going to be matched up all day. Here they are, right down here.
Rice goes in motion on 1st down. The reverse coming in with Rice. And he is dragged down by Stanley Richards, and that's a fine play by Richards.
Yeah, you know, that's we saw Darrell Green was on Jerry Rice man-to-man. Rice started in motion. Darrell Green started to go across with him. Darrell Green couldn't have made that tackle. And then, but Stanley Richard is a free safety. So he's going to come up from deep, and he comes up right here and makes that play. You see, Darrell Green didn't even get over there, because as the corner runs across here, he gets caught up in the wash of the linebackers.
2nd and 9. Young back to throw it again. Screen pass out to Kirby. Kirby close to 1st down yardage. Stopped by Marcus Patton.
You know, let's watch that last play I was talking about, Pat. Here's Darrell Green. Now watch when Jerry Rice goes in motion to get that reverse. Watch how Darrell Green's he gets caught up in there. You know that at one position he has to play middle linebacker, and there's no way he's going to get over there on the reverse. And he's thanking goodness that Stanley Richard got there.
Too many people to get through. 1st and 10, 49ers at the Redskins 17.
This is the area that's driving Steve Young crazy.
That's Kirby again. Cut down after he crosses the 15 to about the 14.
You know, when Steve Young has played this year, Pat, he hasn't done well in the red zone. And yesterday when we talked to him, he just felt that he wants to attack the end zone. In fact, the whole team, if you look, they're only 42%. That's 24th in the NFL with touchdowns scored inside the red zone, which is where they are now, inside the 20-yard line.
They're used to being up close to the top. 10th play of this drive coming up. Different formation. Everybody out in a pass pattern. Owens makes the catch, gets inside the 10 to about the 6. Darrell Green made the stop on Terrell Owens.
You know, we were talking to Norv Turner yesterday. He was saying, you know, one of these weeks the 49ers are starting to get well. I mean, they got Brent Jones back, William Floyd back. They get Harris Barton missed a game. He said they're going to break out one of these weeks offensively. And he said, I just hope it's not this week. He said, because this is a good offensive team that really hasn't broken out yet or played well yet this year.
You sort of get that feeling, don't you?
Yeah, and you know it's coming. And again, I think part of it is they need a healthy Steve Young.
First and goal at the 6. That's Floyd. To about the 5 and out of bounds there, maybe not quite the 5. Darrell Morrison up again to make the stop.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that they're missing down here inside the 20 is, one, attacking it, not throwing the ball in the end zone. I mean, trying to run a fullback out wide isn't the way to attack the end zone. And then, 2, part of the runs that they get inside the 20 over the years have been Steve Young running himself. As I've always said, Steve Young is not only the best quarterback on this team, he's the best running back.
Second and goal at the 5. Here's Steve Young, gets it out to Brent Jones. Jones is upended at about the 2 by Carter.
The other guy that helped that was Stanley Richard.
Yep.
Carter was the first guy there on the tackle, and then Stanley Richard, the free safety, came up, and you're going to watch him. He hit Brent Jones and knock him sideways. Watch, there's that bootleg pass again to Brent Jones. Here's Carter, but watch when Stanley Richard comes in. Whoop! That knocks him where his first thing that hits the ground is the back of his head.
No whirl around. Third and goal. Ball's at the 2.
And this is where the 49ers used to always run some kind of option with Steve Young, option runner pass.
13th play of this drive coming up. Here's Young. Here's a situation where he'll take off with it and throws it out of the end zone this time. Brent Jones, the nearest receiver. And here comes the field goal team again.
Again, the 49ers fail inside the red zone to score a touchdown, but you have to give that to the Redskin defense because that was great coverage. They don't have a lot of area to cover when the ball's on the 2. They only have 12 yards, but they blanketed all the 49er receivers.
Did you get the feeling that Steve Young was about to take off with the ball himself?
And then he thought better of it and just threw it away. Those are the 3 things you can do. You can throw a pass to a receiver, you can throw it away, or you can run with it.
Wilkins will try like it's an extra point. And quickly they shake hands with the kicker. Wilkins, after a 20-yard successful field goal, makes it 3-0 San Francisco. They kept the ball for 14 plays.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Cadillac and your Cadillac dealer. By Fidelity Investments. Isn't it time you had Fidelity Investments working for you? By Lotus. Work the web with Lotus Domino. And by DirecTV. Satellite TV at its best.
Back in Washington at RFK Stadium, the 49ers just scored on a 20-yard field goal by Wilkins. 14 plays they ran to get 3 points. Wilkins set to kick it off. Brian Mitchell and William Bell back deep. They'd like Mitchell to handle it, and he will. At the 7. Cut down at the 21. Smith, the first tackler, Frankie Smith. And so the Redskins will take over. The 49er contingent of Bill Walsh in the middle. Behind the post, you can't quite see all of Bill Walsh. Dwight Clark and Carmen Policy all wearing headsets.
I think what happens, they all want to take credit for that drive.
Yeah.
Things are going well. Steve Young looked pretty good. They had to settle for a field goal.
Farrat. Let's have a look at the Redskin offense. Gus Farrat, the quarterback. 8-3 as a starter. Gaining more confidence every week and gaining more confidence in this offensive line also. They're big and they've done a whale of a job. Terry Allen's done a great job as well. Mark Logan, Westbrook, and Ellard wide. Jamie Asher scored 2 touchdowns last week, the tight end. Tim McDonald made the stop. And let's have a look at the rest of the San Francisco 49er defense. Good front four. Stubblefield and Bryant Young, perhaps the best in the NFL in the middle. Barker and Dolman wide. Plummer, Norton, and Lee Woodall, the linebackers. Pope and Drakeford, the cornerbacks. Hanks and McDonald, the safeties. 3rd and 3.
That's who they're going to work on today, passing-wise, is Tyrone Drakeford.
Westbrook makes the catch from Farrat, and that's where they went to work.
That's what they want to do. In fact, Norv Turner was saying that that we have to have some plays from our outside receivers, and those outside receivers are going to be working over there on their right side, the offensive right side, or the 49er defensive left side against Tyrone Drakeford. They have a lot of respect for Marquez Pope on the other side. One, that he's a physical guy, and two, that he was a gambler.
Here's Farrat again. High. And over everybody's head, Mark Logan, the intended receiver, covered by Ken Norton Jr.
Yeah, that's kind of the game plan, is one to throw to the outside receivers, and then running-wise to Terry Allen. They think that in Dana Stubblefield and Bryant Young that they got two of the best tackles in football, and they do. So they want to kind of pin them and then run off the defensive ends, Chris Dolman and Roy Barker, that the Redskins don't feel a real good run player.
Terry Allen cuts it upfield. He can usually find a gap if there is one. About the 39, stopped by Plummer.
And then once he finds a gap, he really gashes that gap. I mean, he's a darter. I mean, he just kind of gets outside, and he has a little patience to get out there. And watch him on this. He'll come out here, and he'll have the patience. There's nothing inside, and then boom, he bounces outside. And right there, when he decides to take it up, it is going up, and it's not coming back anywhere.
2 tight ends. This is Terry Allen. Going to get the first down. McDonald up quickly. Tim McDonald's having a very, very good year.
A great year. You know what happens is you go inside. You can't run inside because of Bryant Young and Dana Stubblefield. So you say, we got to take it outside, bounce it outside. But if you're going to take it outside or bounce it outside, then you better watch out for Tim McDonald.
Scott Blanton back to punt for the Redskins. That's his college average. He's from Oklahoma.
And he just found out about 45 minutes ago that he was going to be punting today.
He'll be handling all the kicking duties. This is not bad. Dexter Carter knocked out of bounds at about the 26-yard line. 44-yard punt by Blanton. 9-yard return. San Francisco leads Washington 3-0. That's Brian Mitchell, always looking for a little extra entertainment.
There he is right there. As you say, anytime that there's an altercation after a play when the Redskins are playing, Brian Mitchell's going to be in it.
Yeah. And
usually he's going to start it. I mean, he was in one on every play he's been in so far, plus in the pregame warm-up he was in one.
Steve Young, Jerry Rice, hit by Darrell Morrison. And right now for a McDonald's game break, let's go to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
Hey, Pat, the Bears taking advantage of a weak Benny Blades, who had given up a 49-yarder. This a 19-yarder to Curtis Conway. Bears on top of the Lions by 7. Back to Pat and John.
3-0 at RFK Stadium. The 49ers with the ball. They lead the Redskins after a 20-yard field goal. Steve Young opened at quarterback, and he is still there. 1st and 10 at the 40. Rice. Close to another first down. Marcus Patton.
Well, that's the way to hit Jerry Rice right there, and you're going to see him again. We talked about Jerry Rice. We talked about Darrell Green is going to be on Jerry Rice, but Jerry Rice just runs a quick slant. I can't even draw a straight line. Those lines aren't going straight. You notice that?
I did notice that.
That's what it looked like to Darrell Green. Then he missed the tackle.
It was a quick line.
I think there's something wrong. Let me just do it if I just go like that. No, the line's okay. Just maybe it's the way I did it. Maybe it's my mind thinking that way. Jagged.
I don't think so.
Darrell Green did a heck of a job. Remember last week they did this with Irving Fryer. They put Darrell Green on Irving Fryer the whole game, and Irving Fryer only caught passes for 40 yards, and I think that kind of upset Ty Detmer, and he really wasn't sure what to do. So today, Darrell Green is going wherever Jerry Rice goes.
Kirby goes in motion. Floyd. Close to a first down as he carried Stanley Richard about 5 yards.
That's the way a fullback runs. Old bar none, just put your head down and run right over that free safety. He couldn't wait to do that. You know, if you look at what the 49ers did on their first 16 plays, they script the first 16 now. But they ran 7 times and passed 9. And then it's interesting who they try and go to. Kirby 3 times, Jones 3, Owens 2, Floyd 4, and they only got the ball to Rice 2 times.
Reverse to Rice again. It's the second time they've run that play. First time, very little gain. This time, a couple of yards. No more.
But you know, one thing they always want to do is get Jerry Rice involved in the game early. And they try and throw it to him, or they'll try and give it to him on a reverse if they can't get it to him. This is the second time that they've run a reverse to him already. And again, that's just to get the ball in Jerry Rice's hands.
Rice has to come out.
Yeah, and that's the problem with those reverses. You know, that your wide receiver becomes a running back, and at the end of the run, there's going to be a whole bunch of guys jumping on you.
Here's Young back to throw. Going deep. Pass almost intercepted, then almost complete. Darrell Morrison. Wazake was the intended receiver.
You enter, here's Wazake here, and he starts in motion. Then he's going to run a post. Remember, against the Cowboys, he scored a touchdown on this play. I think he had a step on Morrison.
He did.
The Redskins were in a zone, and Steve Young just threw that ball short. Had he gotten that out there, that could have been a touchdown.
Third and long. Young to throw it. The Redskins blitz. They chase Young. They got him. Brian Walker came blitzing from his safety spot successfully.
So what is Brian Walker doing in there? They're playing the 6 defensive backs. Brian Walker is a 6 defensive back. You see him coming right up the middle here. They didn't have a blocker for him.
Lost 10 yards.
Redskins almost had a couple of big plays there. Morrison almost had an interception. Almost had a sack earlier. They threw Jerry Rice for a loss. Ended up with a 3rd down sack. That's good Redskin defense.
Thompson will punt. Mitchell back deep. He's going to watch it sail over his head into the end zone, and the Redskins will start their operation on offense from the 20. 3-0 San Francisco. 44-yard punt by Tommy Thompson. Jerry Rice. Someone rolled up on him on the back of his legs on that reverse he ran, the second one.
Yeah, and then he was out for a play, and then on that 3rd down play that Steve Young got sacked on, Jerry Rice was in there, and he ran a pattern on that play. And whatever it is, it looks like he's still trying to run out.
2 tight ends for the Redskins. Terry Allen gets the carry. They move the pile about 5 yards. Gary Plummer made the stop. That's a remarkable story, and a Gary Plummer.
Yeah, I don't know how someone could do that. Gary Plummer played 2 weeks ago against the Dallas Cowboys. Then on Tuesday, after the Dallas Cowboy game, he had surgery on his knee, missed last week, and is starting again this week.
That is amazing.
I mean, just think of the old days. I mean, when a guy would have a knee operation, he was out for the year.
And you were down for a long time. Mark Logan gets the carry, short of a first down by a couple of yards.
Mark Logan was, of course, a teammate of these 49ers. Mark Logan played for the 49ers, and he was telling the guys the other day, he said, look, if Steve Young is okay, he's going to play. He said, this guy is the fiercest competitor that I've ever played with anywhere. He said he only knows one way to play, and don't think that if Steve Young starts that he's not going to run or he's not going to do those things. He said, when you play against Steve Young, he said, you better be ready for everything.
Because he can do everything, and will. Terry Allen gets the first down and more.
He just follows his big left guard, big old Trey Johnson, 335 pounds of him. That's the second time on this drive. He just got in behind him. Trey Johnson was falling and flopping, and Allen says, if I can find 77, I'll just follow him into the hole.
Just hide behind him. That's all you have to do. He's so big. And he's lost 20 pounds or thereabouts. 3-0. At RFK Stadium in Washington, 3-0. The 49ers over the Redskins. First down, Washington at their own 35. Farad back to throw. Pass complete, caught by Henry Ellard.
Henry Ellard, 14 years in the league. We talk about Jerry Rice having all the yards. Henry Ellard is second to Jerry Rice, but this is what they said they were going to do. In fact, Norv Turner said Henry Ellard runs as good a pass pattern as anyone, and he said he has to have a big day for us today.
And that is an excellent pass pattern he just ran.
And Henry Ellard has been running excellent pass patterns for 14 years. He's one of the best pass pattern runners there is.
Here's Farad back to throw again. And again looks to the right. Westbrook.
Yeah, it's interesting. We know what they're doing here, but they're doing it with different guys. First they put Henry Ellard over there on the right, and he runs a pattern on Drakeford. Then they put Ellard on the left, and they put Michael Westbrook over there on the right because they want to run at the same guy, at Tyrone Drakeford, but a different type of pattern. Because Westbrook is the speed guy, Ellard is a move guy. See, now they got Westbrook out here on him over here.
Terry Allen cuts it up to about the 49er 44-yard line, stopped by Ken Norton.
I think one of the things that the Redskins want to do too, running wise, is to run at Chris Dolman to kind of calm his pass rush down, but they're having a lot more success so far when they run to the right than they are when they run to their left. You see here they're going to come to their left here, and they're not having as much success here because they don't get Ken Norton. See, Ken Norton jumps that gap, catches it from the backside.
Farad. That's Leslie Shepard, and Leslie Shepard stayed on his feet. Was near first down yardage and then retreated. And the Redskins are, I believe, too far away to attempt a field goal on fourth down.
I think what happens is I think Tyrone Drakeford knocks Leslie Shepard that way. You see, again, when he gets hit right here, when he catches the ball, watch Drakeford here. He didn't wrap his arm. He kind of spun him around. But right there, Shepard could have gone upfield. You're right. Had he just made a spin off of Drakeford's hit and then gone upfield, he could have done it.
That's Burton Hanks, valuable member of that 49ers secondary.
The Redskins end up with about 4th and 2, so they are going to have to punt, and I think that's the right decision. I don't think they have a decision here that's too far for a field goal, and you don't want to give the 49ers this kind of field position.
So Blanton back to punt. Trying to hang it short. It's short enough. And the Redskins are going to down it, I believe, at about the 1-foot line. Somebody made a diving play in the end zone, knocked it backwards. This one will be discussed.
Well, no one waved their hand. Oh, there it is right now. I was going to say no one made that motion right there, which means touchback, which brings the ball out to the 20. I watched all the officials, and not one of them made that motion until after they talked about it. They all made the spotting motion.
So they'll bring it out to the 20, and the 49ers will take over.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Nike, by Dockers Khakis. Hey, nice pants. By McDonald's, official break of the NFL. And by Aflac, insuring over 40 million people worldwide.
Here's what happened on that punt that looked as if it was downed in the end zone.
Yeah, Scott Turner, you see, he gets in the end zone, and then he jumps. So he was in the end zone when he touched the ball.
William Floyd, the 49er ball carrier. There's the regular Redskin punter, Matt Turk, whose back went out in pregame warm-ups. It wasn't hit. He just reached up to catch a ball, and his back popped out, and he went down. I was just talking to Sonny Jurgensen. He almost fell on Sonny.
That would have been a catastrophe.
Yeah. Sonny hadn't been hit in a while.
Well, the punter falls on the old quarterback.
Steve Young back to throw. Incomplete flag on the play. Brent Jones, the intended receiver, but there's a penalty marker down, and a Red Cashin.
Rod Stevens, a middle linebacker, played that one well. I mean, he was taking that middle away from Brent Jones, and he played that well. Going to be an illegal formation against the 49ers, so that wasn't an interference on Rod Stevens. Again, if you're going to play middle linebacker against the passing offense of the 49ers on first and second down, you have to take away that middle about 3 or 4 yards deep, and that's exactly what Rod Stevens did.
Illegal formation by the offense. The tight end was covered and ineligible. That penalty is declined. They're down.
You see what happens is because this receiver's on the line of scrimmage, that makes him ineligible. See, and it's the receiver's fault. It's not Brent Jones's fault. The receiver on that side had to be a flanker.
3 wide receivers. Steve Young chased and hit hard, but I think he scrambled enough for a first down.
Steve Young only knows one way to play. I'll tell you, when the game starts, 2 things take over: adrenaline and instinct. And that's what Steve Young plays on. I mean, you got the adrenaline pump, you don't think there's no way you can be hurt, and your instinct tells you to run and to get a first down. And that's exactly what he did.
There's one other thing: instinct, adrenaline, and ability.
Well, and he has the ability. But I mean, he just smelled that first down, and he had to go get it. He wasn't going to do one of those slide things.
Maybe he got a yard. Stopped by Rod Stevens.
You know, talking to him yesterday, and we're talking about going to the neurologist. The neurologist okayed him, and one of the tests was that you have to spell world backwards.
We flunked the test.
I know, but you're thinking about that. D-L-R-O-W.
I see it written.
That's a hard one. It said spell world backwards. Well, how many people can quickly spell world backwards?
For a long time, I had trouble with it forwards. Flag on the play as Owens breaks out of the pack, and Owens still runs, gets into Redskin territory, but there's a penalty marker down back at the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be holding against San Francisco.
I was going to say, because there was only 2 guys back there by Red Cashin. They were both offensive linemen. One was Harris Barton. The other one was Ray Brown. And Red Cashin threw the flag at them, so you knew it had to be offensive holding.
Brent Jones, you saw limping a moment ago.
Number 76 on the offense. 10 yards, still second down.
Kirk Strafford. He and Steve Wallace alternated left tackle.
Kirk Strafford is a left tackle right there. And you just see him start his pass protection here. You see that left arm right up there? That's what they got. Red Cashin saw that one all the way. There was no touch or hit on the quarterback. It was pretty good pass protection for Steve Young. It was a heck of a play and a run by Owens.
2nd and 20. 2 tight ends for the 49ers. One of them was Jerry Rice. Here's Young. Buying time. Caught from behind. Steve Young didn't see that pursuer coming. Dexter Nottage. took him down. Big loss for the 49ers as they retreat toward their own goal line.
Yeah, Dexter Nottage is going to get the sack, but I'll tell you about this one. This is a coverage sack. See, because Steve Young has plenty of time. He looks to the left, he looks to the middle, he starts to run a little, and then there's just nothing open. This is why. Watch the left side here. This is the coverage here. They have Kirby split out there. Good coverage on him. Popson gets nothing. They're really not running very good pass patterns either. Why is the K? There's no one open over there, and the rush finally got to him.
This is a 49er timeout. Back at RFK Stadium, Pat Summerall with John Madden. 3-0 San Francisco leading, but they got the ball deep in their own territory. 3rd and 29 for San Francisco.
See Sean Gilbert pumping himself up. That's the way you do it on a 3rd down rush.
Screen pass to Kirby. Terry Kirby gets out to about the 24, and the 49ers will have to punt from there. Ken Harvey made the stop.
Hey, you remember 3 weeks ago the Redskins defense was terrible. Buffalo ate them up in the run, and then a couple weeks ago they back-to-back they played the Cardinals, and Boomer Esiason had over 500 yards passing. They played a little better defensively last week against the Eagles, and they're playing a lot better defensively so far today.
Thompson back to punt. Mitchell back deep for the Redskins. Brian Mitchell is always going to
leads the league in altercations.
Yes, he does. He says get away from it, and the ball rolls dead at about the Redskin 35.
See,
there they are again.
Sometimes he starts the altercations, and sometimes they start him with him. That one was a Mitchell on a Mitchell.
Yeah, 3-0 San Francisco.
It's a Fox NFL special. Thanksgiving Day, join our pregame family for a classic holiday tradition.
Thanksgiving Day football is just not complete without Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Now you're talking Thanksgiving. Now you're talking football.
Last season, Terry Allen and the Redskins upset the Cowboys twice. Now, Dallas is out to even the score as the teams battle for playoff position in the NFC East. It's a Fox NFL special. Thursday, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific.
Darrell Green, who still has great enthusiasm for this game.
Watch him. He's on the punt return team. He years ago he used to be a punt returner. Now he's getting to be a physical guy. Watch out, Darrell Green on Curtis Buckley there. He's looking for some action, man. He has his shirt tail out, and I'll tell you, we're always looking for all Madden type of guys. Darrell Green is an all-time all Madden guy.
He does enjoy the game. Terry Allen's carrying right now for a McDonald's game break. Let's return to James Brown at our television center.
Had a little razzle-dazzle on this kickoff as Bobby Ingram takes it, then decides to lateral the Chicago teammate Anthony Marshall. He goes 75 yards. What you don't see here is Howie says he's begging to be tackled. That set up a score, and it is all tied at 14. Back to Washington, Pat Summerall and John Madden.
And back in Washington, it's 3-0. The 49ers leading the Redskins. Redskins have the ball. And Gus Frerotte goes back to throw. Westbrook cross midfield into 49er territory. Westbrook's a big guy, big, strong, and fast. 16-yard gain.
You know, and he really doesn't look like he runs fast. In fact, Norv Turner was saying he runs faster when he has the ball in his hands before he does. But watch him here. I mean, it's good protection. So Gus Frerotte can wait, and he can step up and find Westbrook in there. And like you said, he's a big target in there. You know, 6'3", 220 pounds. You love to see a wide receiver like that because you can always find him.
Two tight ends this time. Frerotte back to throw. Into the pocket, going deep for Leslie Shepard. Shepard has it inside the 5. Marquez Pope made the stop. It'll be 1st and goal. Washington at the 2, a 47-yard pass completion.
Leslie Shepard is here on Marquez Pope, but it's a zone. You see he holds up there. Merton Hanks doesn't get over. It's not only the corner, but it's the safety. You see Hanks when he finally gets there. Here's Marquez Pope. Here's Hanks here. In fact, you see Hanks pointing out here to Shepard. You see when he comes in, he gets held right there, and not only does he get by Marquez Pope, but he gets past Merton Hanks.
To the 1.
That was a perfect call for that defense. And that defense, that cover 2, when you're going to roll up your corner and bring over your safety, 1, your safety has to get a bump. I mean, your corner has to get a bump, and 2, your safety can't get held. Marquez Pope didn't get a good bump, and for some reason, Merton Hanks got held, and now they're in this red zone area where they usually hand the ball to Terry Allen.
3 tight ends, Terry Allen again, and Terry Allen will not get in. At about the 1. Didn't we see Baltimore run that same play on tape against San Francisco when they played them last week?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, that's the old thing where you go one way and throw it the other. Just start in there, and get past the way Baltimore did it, though, is they didn't run the corner. They ran more of an up on that one. Right. But it was the same type of thing where they didn't get a bump and the safety didn't get over.
Barat. Incomplete. Intended for Asher. Good job so far inside the 5 by the 49er defense, and here comes the Redskin field goal.
You don't know who stiffens down here. Is it the defense stiffening, or do the offense stiffen themselves? And rigor mortis set in. I mean, it looked like they get down there, and it's pretty easy to get down there. And then when they get down there, they get awfully tight, the offenses. And then, the defenses are playing well, too. So anytime they get in the red zone or get down towards the goal line, it looks like everyone is stiffening up.
That might be this year's shortest field goal. 19 yards out from Blanton. And the score is tied at 3. Dexter Carter back deep for the 49ers. Scott Blanton to kick it off for the Redskins. And by the way, we like to wish Dexter Carter's father, Levy, a speedy recovery. And Dexter, I'm sure, joins us in those wishes. Blanton to kick it off. And Dexter Carter at the 8. Good return out to the 33-yard line. 3-3 score with 5:06 left in the first half. Our Aflac trivia question this week: what is the longest standing record in NFL history? That's going to take some figuring.
Well, I bet it's an offensive record, because
you're probably right.
When they first started keeping records, they I think only kept offensive records. There weren't a lot of defensive records kept.
Here's Steve Young to throw it. Caught by Owens, first down.
In fact, that's what Deacon Jones, I think, is complaining about. They didn't keep sacks, and they didn't keep all those things that guys are getting into the Hall of Fame for now. They didn't keep some of those stats a long time ago, and the ones they did keep were mostly offensive stats.
Well, Deacon's in the Hall of Fame already. But he was something.
Yeah. Well, he was. I mean, he was one of the great pass rushers of all time, and that's what it's all about. I mean, if you're going to play in this league, you have to be able to block for the passer and rush the passer, be a lineman.
First down, Young back to throw again. Dexter Carter is pulled up, and then Young looked back at him, and that's incomplete. Let's go back to that Aflac trivia question. The longest standing record in NFL history. And you say it's an offensive record. And you're right. Most points in a game by a player. The Chicago Cardinals' Ernie Nevers, the fullback, 40 points in one game. Thanksgiving Day of 1929.
Well, good stuff happens on Thanksgiving.
Oh, and we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll be down there in Dallas this Thursday.
He scored those 40 points on 6 touchdowns and 4 extra points. Carter is tackled after he gets the handoff in the backfield. A loss by Mark Boutte.
Here's Mark Boutte right in the middle, and he just penetrates.
Yeah.
He just hits the gap, and no one hit Boutte. I mean, he got so excited he let his chest slip to his waist.
He sort of slumped.
He just relaxed, and the old chest went from right up here, poof, plopped right down to his belt buckle.
3rd and 17. Urukai fumble. 49ers got it back. They'll have to punt. Steve Young got it.
You know, the 49ers had a good first drive, but they don't look like they've been in sync the rest of the time.
They better go back to the script.
And this is the thing. It looked like Steve Young started to pull out a little quickly on that thing. You know, he started out. He started back before the ball started up, and then when the ball started up, his hands weren't up in there under his center, Jesse Sapolo.
Thompson to kick. Short kick. A bounce in front of Mitchell and goes out of bounds at about the 28-yard line. So the Redskins take over there. Now back to that record. The 6 touchdowns by Ernie Nevers and 4 extra points, which were drop kicks.
Yeah, the old drop kicks.
You remember that?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't. I remember being told about it. I don't remember the old drop kick. But Ernie Nevers was from Stanford too.
Right.
And then went into the National Football League. That's where he got his training.
George Seifert.
George Seifert, of course, got his coaching at Oregon. He was an assistant coach at Oregon, and he recruited Norv Turner as a quarterback.
20-yard identified. Westbrook makes the catch. Merton Hanks knocked him out of bounds.
And it's that same pass pattern they're working over here on Marquez Pope and Merton Hanks. And you're going to see here's Marquez Pope and here's Westbrook here. See, they have kind of a bunch, 2 receivers on that side. But again, no one gets a bump here. No one gets bump on Westbrook. Then they're playing the zone, and without a bump, there's no way that Merton Hanks can get over. See, here's Westbrook, and here's Merton Hanks. And he can't get over there because no one gets a bump on Westbrook. And he has speed, and he could just run right through that defense.
Terry Allen gets the carry and gets to the 49er 30. I don't understand that coverage.
Well, I think part of that was design on that one. The Redskins put 2 receivers out there, and you can't get a bump on 2 receivers.
No.
And the one you would get a bump on is the outside receiver, and they put Michael Westbrook inside, so you couldn't get a bump on him. I think you have to give credit to Norv Turner on that one.
2nd and 6. They fake to Terry Allen. Asher takes the pass complete from Farrat and spins down inside the 49er 15.
And that's what happens when you have a great running back like Terry Allen. When you fake to him, everyone is going to go that way. Terry Allen goes to the left this way. Now watch all these guys go here. Then Gus Frerotte fakes to him, and he comes bootlegging out here. But watch what a Terry Allen can do. See, when he starts that way, look, everyone goes that way. Then Gus Frerotte can come out here all by himself and head his tight end, Jamie Asher. But you got to give credit to that one, to Terry Allen being as great as he is.
2 minutes left to play in the first half, and we're tied at 3.
When you have a back like Terry Allen and he goes this way, watch what it does to Lee Woodall. He's going to chase him and flatten out, and he runs right by Gus Frerotte, who has the ball. And this is the thing that Frerotte is working on now. He can zip the ball. He said the toughest thing he has to do is those little touch passes. He did that one perfectly.
This is Terry Allen. And Hanks drags him down at about the 7.
I think Merton Hanks is getting a little upset now because he's been a part of 2 big pass plays. I'm not saying that he was beaten because it was in a zone, but they were both to his side, and he did have that deep zone. And I think that, they got a couple of big plays against him, and he says, enough of that. Let me take a little of frustration out on this guy, Terry Allen, here. And I think right here, he's just taking everything he got. Whoa! That's an old bulldog tackle, huh? He bulldogged him?
I think that's what you call it.
What do they call him when they get a bull and they just throw him down? What do they call that?
Bulldogging.
Yeah, bulldogging.
Yeah.
Okay, bulldogged him.
Red Cashin could tell you.
I'll bet you Red Cashin wears long underwear. Doesn't he look like a guy that would? Well, these guys have been around a long time.
I don't really have an opinion on it.
No, I mean, Red Cash, there's guys that wear long underwear, and Red Cashin just looks, I just look at him, and I look at Red Cashin, and I think he wears long underwear.
What about that person? What do you think they wear?
To get dressed like that, you're not the sharpest knife in the drawer. You get up and you're going to put on a helmet and a thing on your deal, and and you think, okay, I look good, I'm going to go to the game.
Nah, there's no way that they could think. They possibly think they look good.
Well, yeah, someplace they had to look at themselves before they went out, but again, not the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they've been there a long time and having a good time,
Yeah.
Especially when the Redskins are playing well and moving the ball like now.
2nd and 5. Terry Allen again gets the carry. Behind Trey Johnson, Gary Plummer came over to make the stop.
I don't know that Marquez Pope didn't get a little dinged on this play. Marquez Pope, watch him. He's coming up here. He's going to come up to the outside. Here comes Trey Johnson. Marquez Pope right there. I don't know if he got kicked in the head or not, but he got up walking on his heels.
Big Trey Johnson. They ought to just add another E to his first name and make it Tree Johnson.
Yeah, how would you like to be one of these guys and see that guy, 335 pounds come flopping out at you?
He can run.
I know it. And he can pass block and he can run block and he enjoys playing football and he's a good player.
He's one of those got the shelf up there for his name.
I know, where you can't see his name. There's something wrong when you get your name is pointing to the sky and not to the people behind you.
It's 3rd and about 2 tight ends. Terry Allen again. He will not get the first down, and they'll settle, I believe, for another field goal by Blanton. Gary Plummer made the hit.
And it's tough when you get Dana Stubblefield in there. You're not going to get a lot of movement. You have to get movement here and you have to get movement here if you're going to run the ball. But watch Dana Stubblefield here. We were just talking about Trey Johnson. You see Dana Stubblefield there. He takes on that block. There's nothing to cut back into. Plummer gets a penetration on one side, and Stubblefield is waiting for the cutback on the other side.
Brian Young took the double team.
And those are the, if you have to say who are the 2 best defensive tackles or the best defensive tackle tandem or whatever that is, you'd have to say it's those 2 guys, Bryant Young and Dana Stubblefield.
Now the Redskins take a timeout. The 49ers have used all theirs. So the Redskins have 2 left. Blanton talking with Norv Turner. The Dockers Khakis halftime report coming up with JB and Terry, scores and highlights from around the NFL and choice cuts.
One thing about having Gus Frerotte as the holder here, you can always fake a field goal. And that's not, somewhere. I don't know if Norv Turner thinks he's as good as the 49ers or not. But if you think you're as good, then you play him normally if you think you're better. If you think you're not as good and you get chances like this is where you take a shot at a fake field goal or some trick play. If you think you're as good or better, then you just kick the field goal. Norv Turner's mad he's mad about having to be 4th down because you can tell when he took the headset off, he's going to kick the field goal. This isn't a fake here.
Or he's a pretty good actor. So, 22 yards. Blanton is good. And it's 6-3. The Redskins lead the 49ers. Excuse me, John.
I was just going to say that, in this game, in this first half, everyone stiffened up when they got close to the goal line.
today here on Fox. Game 2 of our Fox doubleheader. The Cowboys against the Giants, which will not be seen here in the D.C. area. And the Eagles against the Cardinals.
And then after this game, we'll be going down to Dallas again with the Redskins again for Thanksgiving in Dallas. At the turkey, I'm getting the turkey fed. I picked out a turkey and I got one. And
you're getting him fed?
Well, yeah. Well, I put him on a special diet. It's kind of a high fat diet and low fiber. And keep
That's not good.
Well, I want them plump.
That's not good.
But no, yeah, but you want a good old plump turkey. So
I guess one day out of the year it's okay.
Well, and then I give them no, of course it's okay. And then I give them some calcium, so it's kind of high fat, low fiber, high calcium, get a lot of legs.
Well, we'll have at least who knows how many legs. This is Dexter Carter out to the 33.
See, now here's the one I had to pick out. I mean,
you picked out one of those?
Yeah, well, I went and I said to him, okay, who wants to go to Dallas Thursday?
No volunteers.
Well, no, they're starting to talk to me. They want, so I had them walk around. I looked them over, and then you look here. See all these legs? There's a lot of legs there already. Yeah, and most of them go to one bird.
If they're starting to talk to you, you're spending too much time on the bus.
No, I am spending too much time on the bus, and they are talking to me.
Steve Young has complete to Brent Jones, who gets out of bounds, stops the clock. 29 seconds left in the first half. 6-3 Washington.
And the good news about that play there is that Brent Jones is back.
Yeah.
Remember, we saw him earlier, and where he hurt his knee. We saw Dr. Dillingham, the 49er team orthopedic, checking on it, said he was okay, and then you can see Brent Jones running that pattern. The other good news, I think, is that Steve Young is okay. I mean, he's getting through this first half, and he looks fine.
Young back to throw to Rice, and he gets out of bounds after he makes the catch. Darryl Pounds covering him, but they move the sticks again.
Well, here you are. You see Darrell Green goes and get the bump, and that's that same zone. It's that same pattern. It's that same coverage where you get the zone, you have to get the bump, and then the safety have to get over. They didn't get a good bump on Jerry Rice, and Darryl Pounds didn't get over.
Every time he makes a catch, he breaks or sets some kind of record. Over 16,000 yards now for Jerry Rice. Jones in motion. Young back to throw. And throws it away. Stops the clock. 18 seconds left.
Yeah, I think he was trying to. I know he was trying to throw to his left. I think he was trying to throw it out there to Brent Jones. He didn't have anything there. And then when he came back to his right, he didn't have anything. Now watch. Here's Brent Jones here. Now watch Steve Young. You see him look there. In fact, he cocked and tried to throw, but he had coverage over there. So then he comes back to this side, and this is what it looked like over here. He didn't have anything to the outside. Terry Kirby was the guy he was throwing to.
There's Steve Young back again to throw. Here's it out to Brent Jones, or in that direction, it's incomplete. Pounds again with him.
That looked like a bad pass or bad communication there, because it looked like he could have hit Brent Jones on that one.
Brent Jones got a black mouthpiece. Looks like he lost all of his teeth.
Well, he said last week they gave him a new chin strap, and he didn't like his chin strap last week. Didn't know where it came from, but I think he's wearing the same one this week.
Yeah, I think so.
How can you play and not check your chin strap?
Third down. Here's Steve Young. He gets it out to Kirby, who gets out of bounds again and stops the clock with 10 seconds left. And here comes the 49er field goal.
And that really didn't do him a lot of good for the field goal, although it did get him to the 30. And then again, you take the yard line and add 17 yards. So that'll be a 47-yard field goal.
Well, Wilkins can get it there. He has a chance to tie Elvis Gerbach as the holder, and he also is a quarterback. He's got to hurry. It got there. And that field goal by Wilkins ties it up at 6. George Seifert, I think, is happy with that effort by Wilkins. 6-6 tie. 4 seconds left in the first half.
You know, who would have thought, though, when you have two offenses like the San Francisco 49ers, although the 49er offense is struggling, and Norv Turner, you know, one of the top offensive coaches in the game, the Washington Redskins, there would be all defense and just 4 field goals in the first half. There's Bill Walsh up there. You know, last week, for the first time, he had a headset on.
Dwight Clark next to him.
And Bill Walsh sent some plays with it, you know, wrote some plays on a note and sent to him. The guy to the far right, is Don Klosterman. Remember the Duke?
The Duke of Dining.
The Duke of Dining, one of the all-time greats with the San Diego Chargers. Here's the Duke right there. One of the all-time great guys, Don Klosterman. I played with his brother, Tommy Klosterman, in college.
For years, he held the record for the number of completed passes in a game in college.
He was one of the great college quarterbacks. So Loyola, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Loyola in Los Angeles, I think. He got in a skiing accident.
But it didn't slow down his exuberance. What a great guy. 6-6 tie at RFK Stadium at halftime.
You know, and those two guys we were talking about up there, I bet they're wondering where the heck all the points are, because I know, you know, Bill Walsh, the offensive genius, he wants to score a lot of points and touchdowns, and Don Klosterman was that kind of guy, high point, you know, big scoring guy.
That's the end of the first half with the score 6-6. Washington and San Francisco, and JB and Terry will be along with the Dockers Khakis halftime report following these messages. Back in our nation's capital on an unusually warm day. It's in the 50s, and a surprising score really at halftime, 6-6 between the Redskins and the 49ers. I think when you thought about this game, you thought high scoring maybe.
Yeah,
because
I always felt that the Redskins and Norv Turner, you know, a well-coached team, they can move the ball against anyone, and then the 49ers, you know, their offense really isn't in sync, hasn't been in sync, but you think that the Redskins' weakness is their defense, because, to be honest, they haven't been playing very well defense, but today they come out and they played excellently. In fact, in this first half, they were darn near perfect. I mean, they had no sacks against them. They have no penalties at all. The Redskins didn't have a penalty. They have no turnovers. And I think that's the kind of game they have to play if they're going to be in it.
And what happened here today seems to be happening all around the league. When the team gets inside the 20, and in this case today, inside the 10, they can't get the ball in the end zone. A lot of field goals.
And I don't know if it's all the defenses. I mean, I would, you know, you'd like to say that this is great defense. You look at the 49ers inside the 10. They've had 3 plays. They've gained 4 yards and didn't get a touchdown. The Redskins have been inside the 10 5 plays, and they only gained 3 yards. You'd like to say, boy, that's great defense. They get down there and they stiffen up. I had the feeling that maybe the offenses stiffen up too, that they're not really attacking the end zone. And I think that I think part of it is good defense, and you have to give credit to the defense. But I think another part of it is that the offense is stiffened up.
Well, let's have a look now at the halftime statistics, which don't necessarily reflect the fact that we've just had 4 field goals. Passing yards 114 to 142. I think the key maybe in the case of both these teams, particularly the Redskins, is that there have been no turnovers.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, there hasn't been a turnover here and turnover here, and both teams have played mistake-free football, and that's probably why it's 6-6, and it could be the same type of thing, that maybe the first team that makes a mistake is going to be the team that loses.
2 long pass plays by the Redskins, and they still couldn't score.
Yeah, and it's the same type of thing. You know, it's that same zone coverage. But look, if they just would have gotten 1 more yard on that play. It was the same side, the left side, that same coverage, that cover 2, where they don't get a bump and the safety doesn't get over.
And you got to get a bump to give that safety time to get over there.
Yeah, because if you're going to run a corner, and if you have any speed like the Redskins did out there with Michael Westbrook, there's no way that Merton Hanks can get over there without some help from his corner.
Well, the Redskins going into this game had outscored their opponents 50-19 in the first quarter, and yet they can't get in the end zone. Short kick Going to be fielded by Brian Mitchell at the 15. Got a good block. Good solid block in front of him.
That was some
Junior.
contact out there, wasn't it? Look at that. They still go after each other. After every special teams play, there's a bunch of jawing.
And there was before the game started.
And you look at Gus Frerotte here, and you know the short passes is only 1 for 4 from 6 to 10 yards. He's 1 out of 1. From 11 to 15 yards, he's 1 out of 1. And then deep, he's 4 out of 5. So he's had more success throwing the ball deep than anything.
Well, Norm Turner said yesterday, we were talking to him, he can get the ball upfield. It's the field, the touch passes he has problem with. Here's Frerotte. Touch passes. Picked up about 7 or 8.
Because Gus Frerotte said that he's always been used just to, you know, dropping back and, as he said, zinging the ball. And he said he could always zing it. I mean, he's a big arm quarterback.
He's a big guy.
And he has that, and he can throw the deep pass and, you know, in those deep outs and ins and, you know, and posts and all those things. And the trouble he said he's always had is taking anything off the ball and throwing a touch pass.
2nd and 3, and Terry Allen gets the carry, and Hanks comes up to meet him. Merton Hanks hit him as one of the people who carries the chains takes the brunt of that hit.
Yep, Merton Hanks hit him, but he didn't wrap him. And you're going to see when Terry Allen starts out here to the left, Hanks is going to come up and he's going to get the hit right there, but he didn't wrap his arms. Or maybe when he tried to wrap his arms, Terry Allen just ran right through him.
I think a little of both.
That's tough. That's tough holding the thing. I mean, the guy's holding the deal.
Yeah.
And here comes Terry Allen. And boom, Terry Allen gave him a forearm there. Did you see that with the left forearm?
Here's Frerotte. Incomplete. Intended for Henry Ellard. He couldn't shake the 49er defenders. And the Redskins will have to punt. And let's see who does the punting. Remember, in case you joined us late, Matt Turk, the regular punter, threw his back out in pregame warm-ups, and now he's back. Blanton did the punting in the first half, and now Turk will take over.
Well, Turk has a bad thumb or wrist, too, on that left hand. He has a bandage. He did something to that. That in the back, he's a banged-up punter.
Yeah. Dexter Carter signals stay away from it. This was the punter before the game.
Yeah, he just went down and he couldn't get up.
I know the feeling. 36-yard punt.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by the new Dodge. It's about change. By the Braun Flex Integral, designed to perform better. By Sprint, the official telecommunications provider to the NFL. And by Philips Magnavox, bringing the power of the internet to your own television.
Washington, D.C. is a beautiful city. RFK Stadium on its next to last game in regular season. 1st and 10, 49ers. 6-6 tie. Young gets it out to Kirby. Kirby gets up close to a first down. Tom Carter knocked him out of bounds. Again, in the event you joined us late, Darrell Green, who's been so good for so long, is staying as much as he can on number 80, Jerry Rice of the 49ers, who's been so good, so great for so long.
And I think the 49ers are starting to take advantage of that now. What they do is they run Rice inside and then not a play and take, you know, and then get Kirby to the outside. So, you know, run Darrell Green when you know Darrell Green is going to be out there with him. Run him where you want him to go and then take advantage of it.
Kirby spins away from a couple, still on his feet, gets into Redskin territory, knocked down at about the 46.
You know, there's a good matchup on that left side. Big Ray Brown weighs 315 pounds. Remember, he used to play for the Redskins, came over to the 49ers now, blocking against Sean Gilbert right here. Here's Ray Brown, the left guard there. Watch him block against Sean Gilbert right in there. And he just stays with him. He stays with him, stands him up, gets him turned, and then just as he gets him turned, Kirby goes by him.
First down, San Francisco. Here's a reverse coming to Rice again, and he's got it. Starting to throw it, but better about it. Is knocked out of bounds by Gilbert.
Sean Gilbert took off on that play. Jerry Rice was going to throw it. Terrell Owens was downfield, but watch here's Sean Gilbert. He's number 94. He starts on a stunt. You see him in here in the middle. Now watch him take off. I mean, he's 315 pounds. He's running down here like a sprinter because he just catches him at the pass. He cuts him off at the pass. This is what he's looking at. He's looking at downfield here. He wants to throw the ball to Terrell Owens. You see, at one time, Owens was double. Had Rice waited a little while, he may have been nunned.
2nd and 2. This is Floyd. Floyd will get the first down.
Oh,
he hammered somebody on our guys.
That's the sound guy there. I mean, he got that parab, they call it.
His mouthpiece
wrapped around his neck.
Yeah. Mouthpiece went away.
Yeah, he's going to have to get readjusted there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's what it looks like when you're the sound guy. You got to hang in there to get that sound. He not only got Floyd, he also got the football. Oh, bar none. I can say, heck, he's not that tough. He can tell his wife and family. I was down there in the sideline. I took all that bar none on.
Here's Kirby inside the 30.
The 49ers are starting to do some pounding now. They started with Ray Brown and now they're going Jesse Sapula, Crest Dahlman in there and just kind of taking that offensive line and doing some man blocking, some pounding, and getting the ball to Terry Kirby and to William Floyd.
Can't help but admire the way George Seifert has handled the presence of Bill Walsh and all the injured quarterbacks, the concussions, all the discussions that go on about that, about Elvis Gerbach, Steele Young. That doesn't rattle George Seifert, but the Redskins rattle Terry Kirby.
Mark Boutte, remember, he's Sean Gilbert's partner. We talk about defensive tackles of the 49ers. These guys aren't bad here, especially when you can get penetration and get to a point in here. Watch Boutte. See right there, he gets to the point and then he makes a dive and grabs Terry Kirby. That's a heck of a play by Mark Boutte.
Sure was.
I mean, not only to get the penetration to get there, but then dive over a guy and grab him like that. That's some line play now. Now you're talking.
3rd and 4, and here's where Steve Young can really get you. He didn't really get me or them. He tried. Rich Owens, good play.
Rich Owens got him. That's the thing that the Redskins are trying to do. That's one of their plans. That if he starts to run, they're going to sink underneath. You start upfield, and then when he starts to run, you sink underneath right there. And that's exactly what Rich Owens did that time. He didn't get a very good pass rush because it was a play fake, but then he was underneath, and he became the second layer of containment for Steve Young.
So Jeff Wilkins will try from 46 yards out. This one's got to hurry. That one didn't hurry enough. No good. And the score remains 6-6. Pat Summerall with John Madden at RFK Stadium, Washington. Look at these 3rd down conversions. This is what you were just talking about.
That's what I think the story is here. I think they both got pretty good 1st down plays and pretty good 2nd down plays, but I think they got bad 3rd down plays.
Terry Allen to the 41.
In fact, the Redskins are averaging over 10 yards per carry on 1st down. The 49ers are 6.5, so they're doing well on 1st down. That's the feeling I have, and they're doing pretty well on 2nd down, but on 3rd down, they don't look like they have any good plays for 3rd down. And then they have to punt, and then when they get in the red zone, they don't have any good plays for 3rd down because they have to kick field goals.
2nd and 5. So they get 5 on 1st down. You're satisfied usually with that. Right back to throw. Steps up into the pocket. Westbrook comes down with it. At the 49er 45. That's a good catch.
That's a good catch because there were 6 hands going for that. 2 of them were Westbrook's, and there were 4 49er hands going for that. Just watch as he comes in there. Gus Frerott's going to make a heck of a throw. They go a little play pass from the I formation. And again, that holds those linebackers up in there so that Westbrook can get behind them. But look, you get the hands going up, and Westbrook comes down with it.
That's better than I thought it was till I saw it again.
Yeah, but look how that holds. You see what it did to Ken Norton? They got Ken Norton way up in here so they could get behind him.
Frerotte, pump fake, loose ball. Redskins got it back. They hit him right in the middle of the pump.
I think that was Roy Barker, too, the left defensive end. Going by or around Sharp Pordanish. The first-year guy. Here's Barker. He's going to be right in here. Here's Pordanish here. And you see, he just starts into him. He starts outside, and then he's going to get blocked by the tight end, and he just breaks that double team.
Yep.
I don't know exactly what kind of blocking they were trying to do on Roy Barker, but he went between the tight end and the tackle.
Second down. They're trying to run a screen pass. Flag on the play. Frerotte threw it away. 2 flags.
Well, that's going to be against Gus Frerotte, saying that he didn't throw it to anyone. He's pointing to Terry Allen, saying that he threw it to Terry Allen. I know one of the calls, Red Cashin, is going to call illegal grounding. Quarterback, when he's in the pocket, can't throw the ball away to avoid a sack.
He's called holding first, and they'll forget about the other penalty. Because Terry Allen was close by. He was trying to set up a screen.
Yeah, but he did call illegal grounding, though. I saw him do it.
My flag was for intentional grounding. There's no intentional grounding. I got the jerseys mixed up. We got holding, number 67.
I told you wore long underwear. You got to
Well, they must be getting too tight.
He got the jersey. No, he has a barn door, but he has the jerseys mixed up. You always got one dark jersey and one white jersey.
Number 67 on the offense. 10 yards, still second down.
Red made that call like he's running for office.
The holding was called on Shar Pordanish. He's a right tackle there. Remember the play before, it was the guy that he's holding against. It was Roy Barker right there who got the sack against Gus Frerotte.
That'll make it 2nd and 27.
I don't know. Red could have stayed with that illegal grounding, I think. I don't know that he was throwing it to Terry Allen.
Pass incomplete, intended for Henry Ellard.
What did Red say? He mixed up the jersey.
He got the jersey. That has something to do with long underwear, I think.
Yeah, but you could just tell, you know, I mean, that some guys wear long underwear and don't. I think Red wears long underwear. Just the way you look at him.
I don't think he does, but I'm not sure how we're going to find out.
Yeah, you can go ask him.
You think he'd be truthful?
Yeah.
He might get us mixed up.
Wrong jersey.
Here's Frerotte back to throw. Has some time to Asher. Right now for a McDonald's game break, let's return to James Brown at our Fox Television Center.
This is not a mistake, Pat Summerall. Trent Dilfer back. Swing pass to Mike Allstott, the rookie fullback. He heads the pay dirt. No mistake. Tampa Bay on top of Saints. 13-0. Back to Pat and John.
Tampa Bay. They've won 3 games already. Looks like they're headed for another.
Well, like JB said, it was a screen pass, and he found the right guy that didn't have the wrong jersey or anything. He found the right guy in the right jersey.
4th down. Kurt gets off a rocket. This time his back got well.
I don't think he wanted that much of a rocket, though.
No. He is walking a little, what do they say, gingerly?
Still. But he still had a 56-yard punt.
Yep. Still 6-6 at RFK Stadium, 3rd quarter. 7:21 left to play in the 3rd.
Again, both these teams having pretty good first down plays and not so good on 3rd down. The Redskins had a real long 3rd down that last one.
Young gets to Brent Jones. And Brent Jones turns it upfield.
You know, just yesterday talking to Brent Jones, he looks like he lost weight, doesn't he? He looks thinner, and I think because he is a little thinner, you know, the 49ers don't use their tight end as a blocker much anyway, so you don't need a lot of big old bulk, and I think that, you know, speed and quickness is probably more important. And Brent Jones looks like he's awfully quick now.
Well, they took that big screw out of his shoulder, so maybe he speed it up.
Yeah, it got knocked out of his shoulder.
To Popson. And again, they're doing well on first down.
You know, one thing about this offense is it's really a tight end fullback offense, because here you get 3 receivers to the same side. Now here's Jerry Rice, here's Brent Jones, and here's Barnett. Now, if you can get these guys running patterns like this and this and this, then you have a 3-way go, and you have to defend all 3. If you ever get where you don't have this or you don't have this, then they can really double up on here and sometimes even triple up. But the reason that this offense, and Bill Walsh has always been a tight end fullback offense, is to get the tight end, the fullback, on the same side as Jerry Rice. And then if they want to really gang up on Rice, then you have a tight end and a fullback to go to.
And really, the way they run those patterns, you can see almost all 3 of them at the same time.
Right, and then there's the guy, Bill Walsh, right there, who's really, this is his offense, and now he has a headset, and he is listening to Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator, call the play down to the sideline. There's Mark Trestman there calling the play down to the sideline that eventually goes into Steve Young, the quarterback. So if he hears anything he likes or doesn't like, then he can write a note and send it down to him.
First down, 49ers. Young to Floyd. Fumble. And the scramble. The Redskins had it. There's your turnover. The Redskins lead the league. They're plus 13.
We were talking about mistakes and not having a lot of mistakes. And then maybe the first one that makes a mistake is going to be the team that loses this game. Here, William Floyd, the ball bounces out. Marcus Part, number 53, looks like he's going to jump on it right there. It gets away from him, and the Redskins finally come up with it.
Ken Harvey finally came up with it.
Well, you see, Owens is the first guy that hits him, and he was going in there, and he got the penetration. Rich Owens did. I think he was the guy that caused the fumble.
See if the Redskins can take advantage of this turnover. Here's Terry Allen coming back to the 45. Bryant Young tripped him up.
Yeah, that's really the second time that William Floyd fumbled this game. The first time they got the ball back, and the second time the Redskins got it.
That's Dana Stubblefield, the injured 49er, and he doesn't get hurt much.
You're going to see what happens right there. Number 94, you see him. He was just putting his helmet down there. I mean, he was just getting down to get Terry Allen, and he got it right in the back.
Right in the side, in the kidney area. That's encouraging movement, however. 6-6 tie. This week on the Fox Tuesday Night Movie, hang on for the ultimate excitement, the ultimate adventure, the ultimate suspense. Cliffhanger, starring Sylvester Stallone, Tuesday at 8, 7 Central on Non-Stop Fox. Second and 4. Line of scrimmage, not much more.
You can see Dana Stubblefield there. He got hit in the back of the kidney by Terry Allen right at the end of the play. Looks like he's ready to go again, but he's not going to go.
Anxious.
And again, the third down. I mean, here's a big play. Here's a big play for the Redskins offensively, and of course the 49ers defensively. The offenses haven't been making these third down plays today.
3 wide receivers. Here comes the 49er blitz for Ryan. Gets it outside to Leslie Shepard, and he'll get the first down successfully. 5 minutes left to play in the third quarter.
Here's Leslie Shepard. He's down here on the left side on the bottom. He's running a slant against Marquez Pope, and he gets in there. And Gus Frerotte throws a perfect pass because he throws it where only Leslie Shepard can catch it. There's no way Pope could get there, and either Shepard is going to catch it or it's going to be an incomplete pass. That pass could not be intercepted.
Frerotte 11 out of 17. First down Redskins at the 49-33. And Mitchell. But I think that was going to be an option.
An option, yeah. I think so, and they do run that with Mitchell, because he's an ex-quarterback. So I think he was going to come down there, get the ball, run down, and then you see they have the other back deep there behind him, where he could pitch the option to him. So, what happens is he's going to get the ball, come down here. I think Logan is going to be behind him to get an option. See, now here it is right there. Now he has Logan back here behind him for an option.
Second and 12. Westbrook, a strike from Frerotte. Boy, what a good throw that was. Drakeford on the coverage.
Yeah, we thought that they were going to work on Drakeford. The Redskins said they were going to, and then they started doing that. Then they found something good on the left side. That's Gus Frerotte.
Yep. He was hit by Plummer.
You're going to see Gary Plummer is coming right here, number 50. Gus Frerotte throws the ball. Plummer puts his helmet right into him and drives him right into the ground. Watch his helmet right in there to his midsection. I think that's where he got it. Or you get it once there, and then the next time you get it is when you go into the ground.
Heath Schuler starting to loosen up.
Gus Frerotte made an excellent throw, though.
That was a great throw.
I'll tell you, he could have just gotten the wind knocked out of him. But when you take the time out for an injury, the player has to come out.
Schuler in for Frerotte.
It'll be interesting to see if it's just the wind knocked out of him. Gus Frerotte should be back in on the next play.
Schuler, of course, lost the battle in training camp to be the starter. Frerotte took over. He's been there ever since. Schuler is a fine runner. They lost the reverse. They're chased by the 49ers. Leslie Shepard is brought down after the bumble.
That has to drive Norv Turner crazy. He's thinking of all the plays. Why call? And he called it. He's the head coach, but why call a reverse when you put in a new quarterback and he hasn't played in months, and you have him run a play like a reverse? You'd think you'd just let him get a handoff, but he has to fake a handoff, hand on a reverse to a guy who's not used to taking a reverse, who's not used to taking a handoff, who was injured last week, who didn't play. That play didn't make any sense.
And he's injured again, Shepard.
Yeah, I have all the respect in the world for Norv Turner and his calling, but where he came up with that one in that situation with those guys, I have no idea.
Lost 14 yards, so it's 2nd and 24. There's Frerotte back in the game. Gets up to Terry Allen, who gets inside the 25, about the 23. And that's why Woodall made the stop. Excuse me.
No, and that's why they're having trouble on the third downs, because they foul up on first down sometimes, or they have a penalty or something. And I know Norv is kicking himself on that one. I mean, he's kicking himself that he puts Heath Schuler in and has a guy that's coming off a pulled hamstring run a reverse, and he has to be pointing to himself.
Oh boy. Shepard got the handoff a little high up in the chest area.
Yeah, but again, it's a guy not used to taking a handoff and being handed to by a guy who hasn't played in a game in a couple of months.
That's Brian Mitchell down to about the 18-19 yard line, and here comes the field goal team.
Yeah, again, and I can tell the way Norv is acting there that he's kicking himself there for calling that reverse, and then he was really on third down. You would like to attack the end zone and take a shot at it, but 3rd and 20, that's what the defense is going to play. So he tried to pop Brian Mitchell through there.
So Blanton with Frerotte holding from 32 yards away. Kick is up, and the Redskins have the lead. 5 field goals, 3 by Washington, 2 by San Francisco. 9-6. Lee Woodall.
That looks like a cramp, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It could be a pulled hamstring. I mean, they're working on that area, that hamstring area that you always hope is a cramp that sometimes ends up in a pull.
Dexter Carter deep. He'll handle it at the 12. Carter flashes out of the pack, and the 49ers midfield. There's a fumble. And let's see. 49ers have it.
Like Dexter Carter got up with the ball and showed it to everyone, showed it to the officials first. Then he turned and showed the ball to the Redskins. Now I think he's going to flip it to the Redskins. He just did. They were probably all yelling, "Our ball, our ball, our ball." Carter got up and showed him that he had it, and then just flipped it to their sidelines.
4 fumbles today for the 49ers. They lost that big one by Floyd a minute ago. Young lost it a couple of times, but got it back.
Yeah, and their defense, the 49er defense, has been playing well because they had that, and they held it to 3 that time.
Leslie Shepard, I beg your pardon, that's Westbrook. Shepard was limping after he ran that reverse.
Yeah, Shepard's was a hamstring. He missed last week because of a pulled hamstring.
Here's Steve Young, back to throw to Jerry Rice. Rice spinning around, and the Redskins arrived in mass.
That's one thing that Jerry Rice used to get over the years so much, is that run after the catch. And you watch him here, and again, you see how they're going to have 3 wide receivers to this side. But Jerry Rice doesn't get that run after the catch as much as he did. And part of it is tackling, part of it is that everyone knows where he is, and part of it is I don't think they're throwing the ball as deep to him as they used to, or some of the same pass patterns they used to.
No gain. 2nd and 10. Jones in motion. Young back to throw. Jerry Rice makes the catch. That's close to enough for a first down. Darrell Green.
I tell you, Steve Young zipped that in because this is pretty good coverage here by Darrell Green. Jerry Rice is going to run a hook where you just get up and stop and work back to the quarterback, and Darrell Green was right there on him, and Steve Young zipped in a perfect pass.
And there's not really much defense against a perfect pass. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score, the Washington Redskins 9, the San Francisco 49ers 6. 9-6 Washington leads as we begin the 4th quarter at RFK Stadium in Washington. Jerry Rice, receiving yards this year, the run after catch. And look today, as you pointed out, John. Here's Steve Young. Out to Kirby. Kirby picks up a couple of yards. That's all. Darrell Green. Over on the Washington bench, that's Jim Hanifin.
That's the way an old line coach is. I mean, Jim Hanifin, the old line coach, you have the headset around your neck. You got some belt stuff around here that you don't know what the heck that's all about.
In case you need any tools.
Yeah, you got papers falling out of your pocket, stuff stuffed everywhere, and then you're always writing upside down.
A lot of talent required. Young ducks under one pursuer, now gets out of there, gets away from another. Steve Young short of the first down. No, I beg your pardon, he got the first down.
And he got a heck of a block by Terry Kirby.
For a McDonald's game break.
All right, Pat, that would be me here in Hollywood. Steve Berline, favorite target today. Willie Green, 2nd time they've hooked up for a score. And we're on top 17-3 over Houston. Eddie George over 1,000 yards. Back to Pat and John.
Thank you, JB. Thank you. I knew who you were. 1st and 10 on Washington's 33-yard line. Kirby. A couple.
But you know, on that play that Steve Young got the first down, Terry Kirby, who just carried the ball, made a heck of a block. I mean, you know, Steve Young started up the field, and then the thing that got the first down for him was Kirby's block.
Owens checking him over, put some tape on it, pat him and saying, "You're okay." 2nd and 8. Redskins up by 3. Young gets it to Kirby. Kirby will bring up 3rd and about 5. He's stopped by Rod Stevens.
And this is where Mark Trestman has to come up with a play now. You know, what do you do now? This is where they've had trouble. I mean, you know, they can go for a. Here's Bill Walsh standing right behind him now. We saw Bill Walsh was over on the other side. Now Bill Walsh is in the booth with a sheet, and maybe he's talking about 3rd down. Maybe he's talking about red zone, because that's where they've been having the trouble today.
3rd and 4. Young. Protection is there. Kirby a one-handed catch, but he doesn't get anywhere near the first down.
And it's the same thing. Still no 3rd down play. I mean, you have a 3rd down play, you get none yards. And even if they would have just taken a knee, they would have had to kick a field goal from this situation.
That fine play by Carter to come up and take him down.
And that's not inside the red zone as we know, but it's really the same thing. I mean, inside the red zone is a 20-yard line in. Here they were at 25, 26, 27-yard line, but it's the same type of thing and the same situation, that 3rd down situation.
From 44 yards out this time. Burbank holding. That'll get there. And that's good. We have a tie. 9-9. The Redskins and 49ers. We're in the 4th quarter.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Pizza Hut, by the United States Marine Corps, the change is forever, by Oldsmobile and your local Oldsmobile retailers, and by Packard Bell, the world's #1 selling home computer.
.11:41 left to play. 9-9 tie between the 2 first-place teams, the Redskins and the 49ers. Brian Mitchell will handle the kickoff at the 8. And he's down at the 22 by Junior Bryant.
You know, who would have thought that in the after 3 quarters that there would just be field goals when the Redskins and the 49ers play? But I think this is the area here that they both had 10 3rd downs and they've only converted. Each team has only converted 3 of them, and that the 2 areas that they're having problems in is 3rd down, and then when they get close to the goal line, being able to get the ball in for a touchdown. Neither one of those things have happened.
First down, Redskins at their own 22. Gus Farrat, the quarterback. And he's back to throw. As it's caught. That's Westbrook. Michael Westbrook. And Farrat is really throwing the ball well.
Yeah, we talk about Westbrook and being so big, but I like the way that he comes under control. I mean, he can feel this zone. Watch him come up, drive his guy up, and then come in and come under control and give Farrat something to throw with.
And look how much bigger he is than those defensive backs.
I know it, but and here's where it all starts. You have to block those defensive tackles. Bob Dahl that time on Bryant Young just took him right to the ground so that Farrat could step up.
There's Farrat stepping down as he is sacked by the 49ers.
Yeah, that was a corner blitz. That was Tyrone Drakeford coming. Yeah. Yep, he's a left corner. Now you count the defensive linemen and you count the linebackers, but as pass rushers, you don't count these defensive backs. Here he is out here wide, like he's covering the wide receiver. You see, and he's looking in. Now he times it, and then he hits it, and no one sees him. And of course, no one counts him to block him.
Right.
But you're not going to count a guy way out here. And here's where he lined up, way out here. You don't count him as a blitzer.
2nd and 16. That's just caught again by Westbrook. That's his 7th catch of the day, and that's a career high. Ken Norton Westbrook's a big guy.
Well, you know, they say that last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, he had his breakthrough game. And I think that today's having a breakthrough game because he's doing it against a physical guy. He's taking on Marquez Pope. I mean, he's a big, strong guy, taking him on and still being able to catch that slant.
Took on Ken Norton Jr. when he came out to help out.
You know, there's not a lot of guys in this league that can do that. I mean, you know, that Marquez Pope is taking the cornerback up to a physical level that hasn't been before. And to be able to win a physical battle against him is something.
Go out to throw. Henry Ellard came back to make a remarkable catch. Drakeford thought he had good coverage.
That is a remarkable catch. First of all, there was no help out there. They're yelling, Drakeford's yelling, come on out, come on out. Now watch this move here and this catch by Henry Ellard. Drakeford just got over there in time to cover him. No, Henry Ellard was lined up out there all by himself.
Another good throw by Ferrari. Terry Allen gets a carry. Allen inside the 49er 30, stopped by Plummer.
Uh-oh, we got some action here. Fight. Westbrook, I think they figure when you look at the guy, 6'3" and 220-pound wide receiver, you say you better be physical with him. I think guys are trying to be physical with him. Here it is down here, and he's physical too. And they just get in some kind of bumping contest, then some kind of slugging contest, then some kind of talking contest,
and then a butting contest to go with it.
Get me to good old headbutt.
Here's Terry Allen. He can't get much going, but there's a face mask violation about to be called against Tim McDonald.
Boy, we're seeing more and more of that. Not so much in this game, but remember last week in the Eagle-Redskin game, it seemed like every time there was a tackle, there was a face mask. These face masks are getting bigger and bigger, and you just go to grab something. Oh. Now there's two times. There's the 5-yard type and the 15-yard type. If it's just unintentional, then it's 5-yard. If it's a bad one where he grabs him and then tries to twist his head or neck.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 46 on the defense, half the distance to the goal.
Oh, that's a big one.
That's a big one. You're right. That's a 15-yarder, and here he's only going to go half the distance to the goal line. But you see what happens? Tim McDonald grabbed it, then he used it to bring Terry Allen down and spin him around. If you grab it and let go, that's a 5-yard. If you grab it and then you spin him around and keep a hold of it, then that's a longer variety.
1st and 10 Washington at the 49er 14. That's Terry Allen. Allen inside the 10. About the 9. Stopped by Plummer again.
You see what Terry Allen can do is he can get down when he has to get down. I mean, at that time he was there, and then boom, he just went down. They still have this battle out here between Drakeford and Westbrook. That play is inside, and those guys are out of bounds, and then they're over in the track, through the track, all the way out of the stadium. They're taking this fight.
Stopped finally on the warning track. 2nd and 6, and Allen gets the fake. Barak gets the ball. Intended for Asher, incomplete, and here we go again.
Here we go to that 3rd down. We got the two things going that have been frustrating both these teams today. Yep, we may not have it. I mean, that's the thing that frustrates these teams, the penalty, but 3rd down and in the red zone. I mean, if the 49ers take this penalty, it's going to be 2nd down.
Number 77 on the offense. 10 yards, still
Trey
2nd down.
Johnson called. North Turner doesn't have much gray hair, but he'll have some shortly.
Well, the thing that he buys by that is he doesn't have to go 3rd down this play. I mean, he has the thing going. He's in the red zone. He's on the 20-yard line, but he has 2nd down. He has 2 red zone plays to get the ball into the end zone.
2nd and 16. That's Allen in motion. Right back to throw. Touchdown. Fumble, but the signal went up. Touchdown already.
Maybe that was the best thing that happened to him, Pat, is getting that 10-yard penalty and putting him back, and then it put him in a different situation. And North Turner called the touchdown play.
Asher crossed the plane with the ball to the official signal touchdown. Then he fumbled.
Amy Asher got the touchdown. The band's playing Hail to the Redskins. Last year in this stadium, I tell you, it doesn't get much better than this.
Barat to hold for the extra point attempt.
Toilet paper out in the field.
Blanton is down the middle. 16-9 Redskins. We're in the fourth quarter with 7 minutes and 28 seconds left. There's the old Redskin fight song. (16-9). Jamie Asher, who just scored the touchdown. His fourth of the year as he dived into the end zone, broke the plane, and the touchdown signal went up. Dexter Carter back deep. Line drive kickoff. Carter fields it at about the 6. And the Redskins are saying, we got it. The scramble still going on the field. The Redskins are signaling and jumping and saying we've got the ball, but we'll see.
Remember the last time Dexter Carter returned a kick right in front of the Redskin bench? He fumbled that one too and recovered his own fumble. I don't know that he got this one again. Yep.
The 49ers got it back. Well, let's see.
Hey, there have been some big hits on special teams today. Watch this one. I mean, when he comes in there, that ball just gets knocked right out of there. And, you know, you never know what goes on in the bottom of the pile. I mean, the last thing it looked like the Redskins had the football right in there. But once they start getting under there, and then by the time the officials get there, you have no idea. The ball could have changed hands 5 times.
And you never know what's being said. If you ever get choice cuts on what goes on in the bottom of one of those piles, you have something. Here's Young.
It would be a new definition of choice cuts.
Yeah. William Floyd makes the reception. About 5-yard gain. This game is presented by authority. The National Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Washington Redskins and the National Football League is prohibited. Kirby was the man in motion. Young back to throw it. Has to go down. He couldn't find anybody open.
They had good coverage out here in Terrell Owens. They had good coverage in the middle on Brent Jones. He was looking to the middle and the left. Here comes Jerry Rice. You see him coming across. He had him short, decided not to go there. He was trying to get deeper. He was trying to get out here to Terrell Owens. Carter has good coverage on Owens. Owens doesn't run much of a pattern, but that's where Steve Young was looking. He had Jerry Rice if he wanted him quick on that cross.
3rd and 5. Young gets it to Kirby. Kirby is taken down. Depends on where they mark it, whether he's got a first down or not. Brian Walker.
Well, that old 3rd down thing, you know, I've never believed in that, throwing it short of the first down and relying on the running back to make the play for you and the first down, because the other thing you're relying on is poor tackling, and the tackling in this league is pretty good with these nickel defenses now.
If it's not a first down, George Seifert has to make. It is a first down. Never mind. Never mind the decision.
That's about as close. George is shaking that right arm. I mean, he had some combinations up in that right arm he had to shake out of there. It was interesting. Mark Trestman was seeing he's there by himself now. The last time we looked, Bill Walsh was standing behind him with some notes.
1st and 10, San Francisco. Young back to throw it. to Jerry Rice.
I think that's the thing that you want. Any time that you need a big play. Jerry Rice is one of the greatest in football. You're going to get it to him. Here he's going to come in across. You see, that's a zone defense. Darrell Green didn't run with him, so it's a zone. And it's a crossing pattern, and that's a pattern that this Redskin defense has had trouble with. Remember last week, the Eagles' Christy Jones was running that same pattern that Jerry Rice just ran.
Like that. 6 catches for Rice today. That's Owens in motion. Young back to throw. Screen pass is set. That's Kirby. Kirby out of bounds at about the Redskin 37-yard line. 14-yard gain.
You can tell when a coach goes through. You watch George Seaver go, and he wants to get his team to move, and Norv Turner, he's trying to get a holding call. He's trying to get anything that he can that'll help his team here.
Right now his team leads 16-9 with 4 minutes and 47 seconds left to play.
And the 49ers will probably get into the red zone, but can they get it in from the red zone?
Rice makes the catch. Good coverage, but a good throw. And a good catch by Jerry Rice.
Yeah, that's a great matchup. I mean, two guys that are going to be future Hall of Famers. Jerry Rice, 12 years in the league. Darrell Green out here, 14 years in the league. You know, both maybe two of the hardest workers in all football. Two guys that really enjoy the game and play it like it's supposed to be played.
Amazing thing, neither one of them appear to have lost a step.
Neither one of them look old.
Got the ball to Floyd. Just barely. Floyd did well to hold on.
Looked like Young did well to hold on.
Yeah. Less than 4 minutes. 16-9 Redskins.
I think the 49ers are going to want to slow it down because, you know, if they score, then they don't want the Redskins to have a lot of time either.
First down, San Francisco at the 26 of Washington. Young back to throw. Rick Jones at the 5. It'll be first and goal from there. Darrell Morrison brought him down.
Boy, that was almost a perfect play. It started with pass protection, great pass protection. And you watch Steve Young just step up and throw the ball. But watch this pass protection here where he has a lane. Watch him. Boom, 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 boom. Look at this big hole to throw in here. Step, find the lane. Brent Jones runs a perfect pattern, and Steve Young gives it right to him.
First and goal at the 5 to tie it up. Kirby to about the 1-foot line. Marcus Patton made the stop, but Kirby got down close.
Well, you know what 1 foot equals. 1 foot equals a quarterback sneak.
Yep. Never changes expression. Mark Trestman up in the booth calling the plays down.
This is the thing that you know, if you're going to get the ball this close, this is quarterback sneak area. Steve Young looks like he's going to run a quarterback sneak too, doesn't he? Nope.
Gives to Kirby. And Kirby
should have ran a quarterback sneak.
Doesn't get in.
You know, with a quarterback sneak, all you have to do is get the ball and fall down, and you're in there. You don't have to run 5 or 6 yards. Here Kirby has to run 5 or 6 yards to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Stevens.
And then you give the defense that time to react, and you're not any closer than you were before the play started.
2-minute warning. Back at RFK, 16-9, Washington leading, 2 minutes left. It's third down, 49ers on the a little bit longer 1-foot line this time.
Yeah, and the 49ers, because it's third down and they need a touchdown, they have 2 downs to get it. So they're thinking in terms of 2 downs to get this.
Touchdown.
And now you say, do you kick the extra point and tie, or do you go for 2 for the win? And there's only one play George Seifert has. You kick the extra point.
He didn't waste any time.
That's the thing. That's not a decision. Anytime you're behind, the first thing you do is tie, then you go for the win. Where did Floyd end up? Is he in the stands?
You mean now? Or?
No, bar none. Oh, yeah. He's up in the stands, I think.
The extra point ties it up at 16 with 1 minute and 57 seconds left to play at RFK. (16-16) tie, 1 minute 57 seconds.
You know, that has to be William Floyd's mother, because he went in the stands and gave her that football, and she made him take off his helmet and face mask to give her a kiss. So only a mother would do that.
Brian Mitchell starts at the 11. The reverse. That's William Bell. And Bell gets out to the 35. He was almost caught. There's William Floyd. There he is, taking off the helmet. And there's the kiss. Yeah, you're right. That's got to be Mom. Bill Walsh has made his way down to the 49er bench.
Yeah, we've seen him everywhere. We've seen him in the booth. We've seen him in the coach's booth. Now he's on the sideline talking to Matt Cavanaugh. Now, Matt Cavanaugh is the guy that gets the play from Mark Trestman in the booth down to Matt Cavanaugh. And he's the guy that talks to Steve Young. So Bill Walsh is getting more and more involved in this 49er team every week. 1st and 10 Redskins at their own 34. They go with 2 tight ends. Farad back to throw. Outside Henry Ellard. And Ellard gets into 49er territory to about the 46. Boy, Gus Farad is a cool guy today. Isn't it something that Norv Turner told us yesterday? He said Henry Ellard has to have a big day for us today, and looks like now maybe they're waiting for the end of the game for Henry Ellard to have those big plays. Farad has made some great throws, and he stayed cool. You know, I mean, he really handles the pocket. I mean, he's not a runner, he's not a scrambler, but he really feels very comfortable and looks very comfortable in the pocket. They lift to Terry Allen, who's hit right at the line of scrimmage by Brian Young. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. The technical producer is Bob Muller. Associate Director Rich Russo. The broadcast associates Mike Roig and Fran Morrison. The studio was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy, and the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. You know, Scott Blanton's longest field goal of his career and of this year is 53 yards. And so I would say to be comfortable, the Redskins need about 15 more yards. They need at least another first down. Yeah, I mean, you'd like to get the ball, another first down, get the ball around the 30. The 30 is a 47-yard field goal. Anything inside the 30 is more comfortable in any field goal kicker's range. I agree. And I learned from you years and years ago, there's no such thing as an automatic or no such thing as a chip shot. Not in any kicker's mind. Now, Bill Walsh is down there. Now, he doesn't have much to do with the defense, but I know that if the 49ers get the ball back, he's going to have something to say. That one is not his best. Westbrook, the intended receiver. And there was good coverage over there by Marquez Pope, and I think that maybe, you know, Farad could have looked at that and thought there's not enough room to get the ball in there. Maybe. So instead of trying to force it in there with Marquez Pope so close, he just decided to throw it away. Maybe. Two of the outstanding coaches in the NFL, Seifert on the left, Norv Turner on the right. I think George Seifert is probably the most underrated and underappreciated coach in this league. 3 wide receivers. Boy, and Tim McDonald is really mad at someone.
Timeout number 2 for San Francisco.
San Francisco took a timeout. He must not have been satisfied with the personnel he had in or the defense he had in.
Yeah, they didn't get the right defense in, and they had to take a timeout. And And the thing that, knowing football, you don't want to waste timeouts on defense, because you know that if you get into a situation, you have to save your timeouts for your offense.
John Jack Kent Cook, the owner of the Redskins, has been ailing, and he's missing his first game here in 18 years today.
And a Washington Redskin game, and the scene has always been so great here with him, and he's the guy that's responsible for it. And so many years of great Redskins. Remember the Hogs and John Riggins and Theismann and Super Bowls and Gibbs and all that fun. It was all because of Jack Kent Cook.
We wish him well. Pass is tipped by McDonald. Intended for Henry Allard. Brings up 4th down, and here comes the punting team. So we're going to see some overtime unless something drastically quickly happens by the 49ers when they get the ball back. Unless the Redskins have some more tricks.
That was they were trying to get the ball to Henry Allard there, and you see that he didn't do anything to Drakeford. Drakeford was as close to him as you can be, but the ball, Tim McDonald tipped it before they ever got to Drakeford's coverage.
Here's Turk. Back to punt it. Not much danger of him taking off to run with it. Dexter Carter signals fair catch, makes it at the 10. A minute, 8 seconds remaining. The 49ers have 1 timeout left. That was a 36-yard punt.
It's going to be interesting now to see Bill Walsh and see if he can stand back. I think that, whatever he was going to say, or whatever he had to say, he already said. He said it to Matt Cavanaugh, to get to Mark Trestman. But I think when he was talking to him, I think he was talking about overtime.
Well, you have to think overtime. They got 90 yards to go, 1 timeout, a minute and 8 seconds.
Yeah, I don't think that Bill Walsh or any offensive geniuses have any big plays for a quick 90 yards.
Young is chased. He gets the ball to Kirby. And Kirby gets down at about the 21. They have 1 timeout left. Less than a minute left to play.
Steve Young is going to want to take this team as far as he can before he uses that 1 timeout.
Clock still running. No huddle. Steve Young trying to get things going in a hurry. Floyd lunges outside the 30, about the 32. Clock still running. Redskin player down. Morrison is the injured Redskin, Daryl Morrison.
Well, the 49ers ought to huddle up now. I mean, because they don't get a lot of chances, and they're just standing around because this is a free timeout for them. And to have their team just standing around isn't very smart. There's Bill Walsh now. He's talking to Bob McKittrick, who's the offensive line coach of the 49ers.
And now George Seifert came out on the field and called Steve Young over to the side.
Yeah, they didn't huddle up or anything when they got this timeout. I mean, this is a good time to be able to talk over what you want to do.
16-16 tie, 37 seconds left.
And the decision here is being made by George Seifert and Steve Young. There's no headset there.
Not 37, there's 31 seconds left.
You see, Steve Young started to call timeout, and then watch, he turns and he sees that there's an injury, and he says he doesn't want the timeout. So the 49ers still have 1 timeout.
And the Redskins have 2 now.
Again, we saw that conversation with Steve Young and George Seifert. Elvis Gerbach was in there, and there was no one with a headset there. So that was, I think, Steve Young doing the talking and maybe doing the decision making.
Second and about a yard. seconds left. Ken Harvey hit Young just as he let it go. Floyd fumbled the ball. It went out of bounds after he made the reception.
After a play like that, I don't know. Steve Young is getting up limping now. He's limp. Steve Young's hurt. I think now with this, I would just take a knee here. I mean, there's no need to, maybe try and get the first down, but I think after that, I mean, that was real close to some bad things happening for the 49ers.
Elvis Gerbach is warming up. Steve Young stays. 1st and 10. 22 seconds left. Young back to throw it. Kirby will not get out of bounds. And the clock's going to run, and now Steve Young takes the timeout.
Steve Young didn't know if he's out of bounds, he didn't want the timeout. If he was in bounds, he wanted the timeout. That was a heck of a catch by Kirby, though.
He's made a couple of those one-handed catches.
This is a play before when Steve Young got up limping. I mean, there's a couple bad things almost happened to the 49ers on that play. One, Steve Young almost got it there, and William Floyd almost fumbled it.
16 seconds, first down. Here's Steve Young. Trying to buy some time and gets rid of the ball. He's out of the pocket.
Yeah, he can do that as he's out of the pocket.
But there's a flag.
He can throw it away, but the ball has to go back to the line of scrimmage.
Right.
I think that's what happened. It threw it away. It's legal to throw it away if you're 2 yards outside the tackle, but it has to go to the line of scrimmage. And I bet you Red Cashin says it didn't go to the line of scrimmage.
And he'd be right. It didn't go to the line of scrimmage. So now when Red Cashin's in command, you feel like you're in good hands.
Well, unless if he gets the jersey straight. I mean, sometimes Red has been known to say, I didn't mean that penalty. It was the wrong jersey.
Well, that was the long underwear.
But on this rule here, the ball had to get back to the line of scrimmage or it's a penalty.
The foul is intentional grounding. Number 8, there's 9 seconds left on the clock. We would have run off 10 seconds. That's the end of the regulation game.
You see, here's a box. Now in here, you cannot intentional ground. Now, if you get out here, outside this box, you can intentional ground. But when you do intentional ground, it has to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Okay, now if you look, here's the line of scrimmage right here. It's the line. So now when Steve Young comes back here, he's going to be okay when he starts to scramble. Now he's outside that pocket I just showed, but when he can throw the ball there, but it didn't reach the line of scrimmage.
And the flag came down very quickly.
Yeah, and if it happens with less than 10 seconds left to go, then the game is over because they're going to run 10 seconds off the clock.
So the overtime rules, a coin toss determines possession. 1 15-minute quarter. 2 timeouts per
We'll
team.
have the toss. We'll have a 3-minute intermission. We'll start another 4th quarter. Each team gets 2 timeouts during that 4th quarter. 2 timeouts. San Francisco, who will call it?
I will.
Please call it while it's in the air.
Tails.
Tails is called. It's tails. Your choice. You want which end will you kick from? San Francisco won the toss, chose to receive.
So the 49ers will get the ball first in overtime.
It's over right here. We ripped them all down. You got to make it happen right here. Sideline return. We got to be aggressive. Ready to play. Nothing else. But let's win it here. Sideline return to the house. You got to believe it. You got to believe it. To the house. One shot. 1, 2, 3. To the house.
Now, sideline returns means that whatever side they kick to, they're going to return to that side. I mean, you don't call right or left. You call sideline return. So then if the ball is kicked right, you return it to the right side. The ball's kicked left, you return it to the left side.
And you take it to the house.
You take it to the house, yeah. Look at this. The team winning the coin toss has won 55% of the games this season and 52% of the games all time.
And the home team, in this case Washington, is 6-5 this season.
And you know, the other stat, I mean, we're throwing stats out. This is the third time this year the 49ers have been in an overtime game. We did one of them just a couple weeks ago with the Cowboys, and they lost both those overtime games.
Redskins have lost their only overtime effort.
Well, one of those strings
That's going to change.
will be broken.
Dexter Carter is back deep. Got a little problem with hanging on to the ball the last couple of kickoffs. This one is a short kick. And he fields it and gets out to the 32-yard line. Patrice Alexander made the stop.
I'll tell you, there have been some of the darndest collisions on special teams that I can remember in a lot of games. I mean, these special teams guys have really been going after each other.
Overtime at RFK. You heard Red Cashin say, we'll start the fourth quarter again. 2 timeouts for both teams.
I was telling someone when we played a game against Baltimore, I said 6 quarters. The guy said, that's impossible. 6 periods.
Here's Steve Young. Tangled for Kirby, and he just...
Did you see what Terry Kirby did? Yeah.
Smart play.
Yeah, he punched it away. He was afraid that thing was going to be intercepted, and he just punched that ball.
That's a dangerous throw.
I know it, and I think that Steve Young has been making too many of these dangerous throws in that short flat out there. That time, watch what Kirby did. I mean, that ball was coming close to being intercepted.
It certainly was.
That would have been a game ender, too.
Yep.
Dangers looming out in this area for Steve Young.
Second down underneath to Rice. Rice gets a 49er first down to the 45.
You know, it's that same type of pattern that Jerry Rice had success on earlier. Is he's going to be in here and he's just going to run a crossing pattern. It's the same thing that the Eagles did last week. See, you just start underneath. He always runs right at that umpire, right at the official, and he uses him to shield off some of those defenders. Then he's working against blockers in here. I mean, he's working against linebackers in here. Then he can make the moves on those guys.
That's his 8th catch of the day, 1st and 10. Field goal range already, and it would be a long one.
On one play, they just ran a trap up the middle, and Terry Kirby put him in the field goal range.
At the 29-yard line of the Redskins.
Like I said, he's just going to start here. Boom, just hits this thing right here. You see the hole right there. Just watch how they do it. You see they just man it. The center blocks back. They just caught Boutte was working that way. Jesse Sapolo took him the way that he was working, and Kirby just hit that thing right up the middle. Mark Boutte ran right out of there.
25-yard gain, first down. Here's Kirby again. Got about a yard. Stopped by Rich Owens. Wilkins loosening.
Yeah, we talk about veterans and and guys that play and enjoy games. How about Jesse Sapolo? And it comes down to who's going to make a block. Jesse Sapolo has been playing for 14 years in this league for the 49ers. Bill center there and get where you need a play. You're in overtime, and he's the guy that makes it for you. The old 14-year veteran, Jesse Sapolo, has been solid as a rock with this club.
All his years with the 49ers. That's Kirby again. Kirby broke a couple of tackles, got down to the Redskin 25. Maybe the 24.
It's interesting now. Here you get to third down. Do you kick the field goal or try the field goal on third down? I think if you were closer, you do.
Yeah,
because
you would.
If anything goes wrong, then you still have fourth down to kick it. But I think out here at the 25, I think that George Seifert and the 49ers would like one more first down.
It would be a 42-yard field goal from here. They'd like to get it more comfortable. And Kirby does that. Down to the 20. As you said before, Kirby is becoming more and more a part of this 49er offense.
Yeah, and he didn't get that first down, so the 49ers are going to have to go for the field goal here. I think they would have liked to have gotten a first down and then take a shot at the end zone before you kick the field goal.
This is going to be 38 yards with Gerbach holding Jeff Wilkins. Timeout taken by Washington. Wilkins, excuse me, I was just going to say Wilkins' career longer is 48 yards.
You know, Jeff Wilkins is not going to get close to that. What the Redskins do, they take a timeout to unnerve the kicker. And usually, and we've seen Jeff Wilkins do this before, he's not going to let him unnerve. And he's going to stay back here. All the other guys are up here.
Turn your back to it.
Yeah, turn your back, get away, don't listen. I mean, not only does he not listen to what anyone in the sidelines says, he's not going to listen to what any of the Redskin players have to say. He's not even going to listen to what any of his players have to say.
I think in a situation like this, you don't hear too much anyway.
And you don't want to hear anything.
No. It's a total, I block out everything. "38 yards out. The 49ers win it in overtime. 19-16. First time they had the ball, they drove it down for Wilkins' field goal. 25-yard run by Terry Kirby set it up. The trip back to San Francisco will be over before you know it.
Hey, that was a heck of a game, though. I mean, it had everything. Those defenses hung in there. The Redskin defense hung in there until overtime, and they just had too many shots at him. Jerry Rice against Darrell Green. What a great matchup that was.
Terrific game won by San Francisco, 1916. 1916, the 49ers over the Redskins. Your final thoughts, John?
I think the key drive was that last drive when the 49ers went down to score the touchdown to put this game into overtime. And I think the offensive line of the 49ers took over then. They had good pass protection, and that pass to Brent Jones was a big, big play.
All right, so for John Madden, I'm Pat Summerall saying so long from RFK Stadium, where the final score was San Francisco 19, Washington 16. Coming up next, except in Washington, it's the second half of our Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader as the Cowboys take on the Giants or the Eagles take on the Cardinals. That's all coming up next.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports, home of Super Bowl 31.